The mission today is to sharpen your swords and get you ready for battle. It's time to fine-tune your craft and make you the best in what you do. The mission is to equip you to help anyone purchase what they need. We'll share the best advice from the best in their industry. You'll be listening to a conversation you wish you had with the mentors you wish you had. Take what makes sense to you and makes you better in your career. You guys, Bruce Lee said it best.
Absorb what is useful and discard what is not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Commission Mission. I'm Micah Henderson.
And I'm Eric Gerace, and I'm excited about our guest today, Micah. He came as a referral from a good friend of mine. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's been in the financial planning industry for 30 plus years, now retired, and he is also a published author. And I can tell by the little conversation that we've had with him that he's a wealth of success, but we're getting to know him today. And welcome to the show, Jerry Strave. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So talking about entrepreneurship, especially serial entrepreneurship, that what it really takes to make it, to I think the bravery it takes to thinking of an idea or a concept that you know is going to work and you going for it. I mean, it takes a lot to go for it and follow through with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know people, many people that are out there that have these great ideas, and they say, this is going to make me rich, or it's going to be the best widget on the planet. And, it just might be, but there's just so much more involved. But I think those people who get really excited about this possible new product or opportunity are probably the best ones prepared to go out and make it happen, because you have to have enthusiasm, you have to have passion, you have to have drive. But that's just part of what you need. Biggest thing you need is capital. And there are more great ideas, great businesses that could have succeeded wildly beyond anybody's imagination, but they did not have enough money behind it. People run out of money. It's kind of like running out of oxygen. You're going to go nowhere fast. So I would say that would be the biggest thing is being capitalized. So, and there's more, but I would think, first of all, have the money, have enough money not to launch the product, and have enough money to pay your employees for it a year, and enough money for you to live on for a year, so that you can focus on your project, use that creative within you and this ingenuity that you've got to go in there and totally be able to dedicate time to your business and not be worrying about how to pay the bills, how to pay your suppliers, or do the kids have enough to eat on the table, and that kind of thing. Because that kind of distracts from, well, it doesn't kind of, it definitely distracts from being able to focus on your passion, your new baby, your business. Just some of my thoughts.
Yeah, I like that, because you can hear the financial planner coming out in you through that, because a lot of people, when they get really excited about something, they just jump head over heels right into it. And a friend of mine, a previous guest of ours, Jonathan England, he used the phrase where you focus on your job, maybe it's right now, and you work on your dream until your dream starts to outperform your job. Then you can step fully into your dream or your passion at that point, or your purpose. And
your day job keeps your dream alive.
Yeah. So let's talk about capital sources. So one, obviously, we have friends and family and neighbors or people that are interested with the technology out there. There's a lot of crowdfunding places, or Kickstarter and things like that you can use. Are there any other suggestions, ideas for people that are starting out on where to search and get their hands on this capital that's needed for their business?
I think you listed all of them, particularly thing like Jumpstarter, crowdfunding, and that sort of thing, which it's all about marketing. Or, everybody watches Shark Tank, right? Well, take a good look at Shark Tank and realize what they have to have available for those that are, sitting out there interviewing them. First thing you need to do is have a financial plan, have a business plan. You have to have it written out thoroughly. You have to have projections on it, and you have to justify those projections. You have to, show, you can't say XYZ is going to happen, but not have the evidence or the information that verifies what you're saying. So everybody wants a business plan, and everybody wants a sales plan within it, and they want to know how your cash flow is going to work. And again, banks usually are not typically great for first starters, unless you have collateral. People collateralize their house or something like that. Or credit unions might work with you. There's some credit unions that you have a pretty good relationship. They might work with you. Another way is to some people have 401ks and IRAs and that sort of thing. There are rules and regulations how you can use those assets. But for instance, you can use your IRA to help fund real estate. Okay. Now, not all real estate. You got to look real deeply into it. Okay. You can use part of your 401k sometime. Again, there are regulations for it. Look into that and see what's available there. And there are guidelines. These crowdfunding, that is like, think of it as Shark Tank. You're going to get it out there. You got to get excitement. You've got to have a distribution. You have to have enough people who are going to read it and see it. Savings, obviously, that's kind of a no-brainer. Not a whole lot. They do have things in the internet now that are coming all the time. Also in your mail, where they will lend, like Lending Tree or these different organizations that will lend you money, but it's going to be based on your credit report, obviously, and they will charge high interest rate. But there are a lot of internet funding vehicles out there that will give you cash, and with a credit rating, you can get some money.
And that business plan that you described, that's how you determine the amount that you need.
Right.
And then you go out and get it. I think.
And one of the things I like to want to reiterate, because a lot of times when people are putting business plans together, they shoot for the stars, and it's not grounded in reality. And the more honest you can be, the more accurate it can be, the more research you do in your market and understand those numbers, the better chances you're going to have of getting the funding that you need. Because investors are smart. They have a lot of money for a reason. They know the numbers, understand business. And if you're just putting numbers down on a piece of paper to make it look good, they're going to smell that out right away. And so it's to be accurate and as possible will help you increase those chances to get the funds that you need for your business.
Back to your point, one of the best ways to get interest of an investor is obviously underestimate, okay? And plant seeds within the plan where they might want to ask questions and see if they are interested in the plan, and they start asking questions and they start showing interest. Then they start internalizing your business and get them excited and make them and put them in a position where they feel they can help you. A lot of these people are motivated to want to be able to help. So identify your weaknesses and ask them how you can overcome them, and you'll find there's a lot more engagement.
About getting the interest of the investor, in order to get the interest of the investor, first the investor has to know you exist. So going back to the part of the advertising or marketing your ideas to get that attention, what do you think best practices are? I mean, this is for me personally. I think this is an area that I tend to think about the least, and how to narrow in on your target to get the most bang for your marketing buck.
There's several schools of thought on that. And number one, do you want to stay local? Do you want to have that one-on-one relationship with a person, or are you going to go out on the internet or whatever? So let's say, for instance, you've got a business that could be very supportive towards a local agriculture endeavors. Like maybe you've got some farms nearby, and you come up with a widget or whatever that could make their lives easier. You might want to go out and talk to, first of all, you patent it. Then you want to go out and talk to these people. Let's say, listen, I've got this widget here that's now you can milk your cows in 30 seconds or something like that, whatever. And they get excited about it. Well, they'll want to put money into it, possibly. So that is one way to look at it. Another way to go is get involved with your Chamber of Commerce and get involved with some of these there's a lot of old retired guys and gals who are out there trying to help young business people, not necessarily young business people, but business people. And the name escapes me. But the Chamber of Commerce can be very, very helpful in mentoring, and they can help send you in so many different directions for different things that you need, like maybe your license or certification, or maybe some property that you may need to use to work your business, or they may be able to help you with your planning and putting the finances together. I mean, it's amazing the free resources that are out there. The first thing I would go would to be your Chamber of Commerce. Then that's for a local. I did not know if you want me to expand on anything else.
I mean, local is a great place to start. But I mean, we're trying to get ideas to as many folks as we can. If there's any other good points you'd like to make on spreading out a little bit, I'd love to hear it.
Well, you know, the crowdfunding, like you mentioned earlier, and then you've got what's the other one? Gosh, there's so many of them out there. There's a ton of those funding sites, and you can find them all over the internet. And ones that are specifically geared towards different industries and some different cultural groups, racial groups. I know that there's federal funding out there for minorities, and there's federal funding out for the things like climate change oriented. You can
certain causes.
Yeah, go to your federal government and find out what funding is available. The Chamber of Commerce, I meant Chamber of Commerce, the Department of Commerce has all kinds of packages there that will help, and they'll tell you how to go right through it, and they will also help you with your business grow it. Pretty much that, but there's just so many opportunities. Again, local government, state government.
Coming to my mind is SBA. SBA
oh, absolutely.
is an awesome resource. They provide help in all aspects of creating the business plan, finding funding.
Veterans too. There's veterans groups out there that support veterans in business. Huge support there.
What's the one I used before? SBDC, Small Business Development Center. Yep. That's something available around here. I don't know if that's available everywhere, but I've utilized that before. It's been a lot of help. In your career in entrepreneurship, did you develop different businesses for the sole purpose of selling it once it has grown in value?
Yes.
Or I mean, has this ever been something that you didn't plan on doing, that you planned on working that for the duration?
Every business I built, I sold with the idea of selling it.
Okay.
So first business I built was a maintaining plants in offices. Okay.
Hey.
So what would you do? You'd have, let's say, 20 or 30 different accounts. You'd have to go in there every week. And so I had people going in there tending the plants, when people who knew what they were doing. And eventually it got to the point where it became a little bit operationally cumbersome, and I didn't want to do it. And I had some good employees that did want to do it, so I sold it to them. And then I also took a very, very large warehouse, and this was back in the when was this? This was probably back in 1988, 89. I took a large warehouse and built storage units in it. And so they had the big freight elevators that go up and down and handle all the freight, and they had the loading docks and everything. And so that worked out really well. And again, I sold that. And then I had a moving and storage business that handled local deliveries for large anchor stores such as Sears and Sears and Kohl's and
like JCPenney or something.
Yeah. Appliances. We delivered appliances for them. Then we took the used appliances out of the appliances, the house, took them back to my warehouse. I had a guy in there who could fix them. We sold those for so much money. They were so much more profitable than the machines that big stores are selling now.
Because a lot of times people would just want to get rid of the old ones.
Yeah, you're doing me a favor taking it out of here. So I take it out of there, and 2 days later I turn it over for $150.
Come on.
Well,
So
there's two things that I got out of that that's really important, I think, for especially entrepreneurs that are starting out. Is one is as you're planning and determining what your business is going to look like, keep in mind, how is this going to scale? How can I grow this? How can I set this business up where I'm not the thing that needs to be replicated, right? That you obviously had other people helping you that were knowledgeable in the area, so it's you didn't have to put more time in and more effort in order for the business to grow. You needed to add and create a team around it. Another thing too that a really awesome mentor and good friend of mine reminded me is when we set things up is keep the divorce in mind. Is what he said is what's your exit strategy for this?
Start with the end in mind.
Yeah, start with the end in mind. What's your exit strategy for this? How and also too is how to protect yourself in certain situations too, right? So, but always keeping with the end in mind, how to scale and how to make sure that you're not the thing that has to be replicated. Your time isn't the thing that you have to put more into the business in order for it to grow. It's just to keep front of mind as you're setting this business up.
You have a business that is thriving and you're not working in it. That's when you've got the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to say you work on your business, not in it.
So I thought of an invention last night. You guys ready for it?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right. You ready? Popcorn, right? What's the biggest problem with popcorn? The little bits that get stuck in between your teeth and your gums.
Uh-huh.
It's an invention to get those little pieces out without having to go in after you. Now it's patent pending. So I can't get into the details of this invention, but it's gonna sweep the nation. Then I'm gonna sell it.
I just hope you don't have a lot of your clients running around like this.
Exactly. It got rid of that, but also my teeth. Yeah, exactly. We're taking some volunteers to test it. Yeah, to test the
Tell me about it later.
The prototype. Yeah.
He just makes popcorn milkshakes.
That's it.
And you just drink the popcorn.
Oh, come on, man. Pending. Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. IRS takes your money, stock market risks your money, and inflation reduces the buying power. At Highland Finance, we believe you should feel confident in your future. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989.
So let's say that you've taken the steps where you've sourced, you've got some income to cover your business and your startup in the beginning. You've got an awesome business plan. What does an entrepreneur need to possess inside themselves? What qualities do they need in order to be successful? There's got to be like a common thread.
Well, we were talking earlier about a plan and a vision.
Mm-hmm.
You stick to it. You revise it on a regular basis, right? But you stick with it. And I think and part of that is the persistency and consistency. When things are getting a little challenging, and they do, don't change your plan until you've done a thorough study on what you're doing, okay? But at the same time, one needs to remain flexible. For instance, if you're selling Christmas trees and you find out that Joe Blow over here has some Christmas trees that are half price compared to what you might be paying for those, you might want to cancel an order which trees cost more and get the ones that are local, okay? But by the same token, you got to make sure that those trees, maybe they're not diseased, or maybe they don't serve the same purpose. Maybe your customers won't like them or not. Be flexible, be open to change, but by and large, remain consistent and persistent. And when the old adage, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, you've got to remember it. There will be tough times, but it's about attitude. It's about keeping the end game in mind, and trust yourself, and trust the people that are around you, and only speak good. Don't speak the negative. All right.
I like that.
If you remain positive, and for instance, I have affirmations that I read regularly. Okay, and these affirmations say exactly what I want and when I'm going to get them. Okay. And one of these affirmations is to never speak or think negatively about my associates and other people that I'm dealing with. Okay. That doesn't mean they don't deserve a lot of negative talk, okay? But I'm not going to poison what's going on in my head uh, with speaking ill of anyone. Now, just don't speak of them at all. Just go a different way. And if they're causing you a problem, focus on the solution as opposed to just how messed up that idiot is. Okay, because unless you're a shrink, that is not probably going to do a lot of good for you. And if you're shrinking, you're not getting paid for it. Now you don't want to do that either.
You don't bring that negativity
You know, I love
in your world.
when themes and suggestions and advice start to replicate themselves through multiple episodes. Yeah. You know, here we are hearing again. I like to point them out because if more than one person that's an expert in their area
that are successful in what they do,
and what they do is telling you these things, then it's important to take note of. And the one I got was persistence.
I get affirmations
and consistency.
You hear that?
It's like we've talked about on other episodes, is finding out your why, right? So why are you doing this, right? There's always going to be obstacles that come into you. And if you get a level 10 obstacle and you have a level 2 why, what happens? You stop, you know? So when you have a level 11 why, if you're doing it, obstacles that come towards you become speed bumps. And so, and the consistency, you know, especially when we're starting out, in business, we tend to like, oh, that didn't work. Oh, let's go this way. Let's go this way. And we start to look like a chicken with our heads cut off, you know? And, and that business plan, having the defined business plan, I think really helps with keeping that consistency and striving towards your goal. And with the level 11 why, obstacles that come up will help you, give you the motivation and the desire to push through them.
Two other things I might want to mention is know your market and know your competitor. Keep an idea on what they're doing. It's not bad to emulate something that works, okay? And it comes a lot faster than experimenting with something you don't know if it'll work. So if you see somebody else doing something, whether or not they're in your industry and it's working for them, that could be where they're getting their employees from. It could be who their accountant might be. It might be what vehicles they're using. You know, talk to people, find out what is working. You know, you're going to save a lot of time and a lot of money. And don't try to reinvent the wheel when it's not necessary. You know, another key thing is take time for what I call thumb sucking window gazing time. Sophisticated people call it meditation. Well, you know, I'm one of those guys that I'm just gonna sit sometime and just look out the window or go for a walk. I go for a walk every single day, and I get answers every time. I'll put a thought in the back of my head. Okay, I need to solve this issue, or how do I approach this? But I just go for a walk, and I guarantee you, every time the thing pops back in my head. So get away from the noise. Get away from everything that is taking you away from using your noggin, okay? And it'll stun you with the answers that you come up with, because it's all back there. It's all in the back of your head.
Yeah, just got to listen. And as far as competition, there's always going to be competition, and you can't expect for there not to be, unless you invent like a popcorn smoothie, and then there's probably not a lot of competition. But there's always going to be competition, and you could probably learn something from them that they may have learned the hard way through trial and error, that you just kind of skip that part on that aspect of the business. But I definitely like, being able to, when you're approaching a tough subject and you keep hitting a wall, to take a step back and, take a deep breath, and you can come back at it with a fresh set of eyes, because you've gotten away from the noise. And so the other thing that we want to speak to you about is being an author, and being an author in that way is a different form of entrepreneurship, I feel, than the other businesses that you've created. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
For anybody who are interested in going down that route, what are some bits of advice that you can give them as far as similar bits of advice for entrepreneurship, but geared towards writing a book and getting it out there and getting it published.
Okay, I would say the most important thing is if you are thinking about writing a book, uh, start right away, and don't worry about rules or regulations or techniques or whatever. Just start writing. And I use an example. I had been injured and was unable to work full time for a while, and I would have to relax and whatever. And when I was doing that, all my life I had a habit of coming up with stories in my head, and I'd never written them down. And so I decided, well, I'm not doing anything else right now. I'll start writing it down. So in August 9th of one year, about 4 years ago, I started writing this story that was in my head and had been there for a while. And by the time December 5th came around, I had written 120,000 words, which would be a very large book. All right. Well, that book today is part of a 4 series. I intended to write 1 book, but it got so interesting and the people who read it wanted so much more that I'm writing a 3rd in that series. I will finish that this year and publish it the 1st of next year, and we'll write the 4th one, 2023. And at the same time, I've written 3 other books. So write, okay, constantly write. Set a time of day if you can where you're going to be writing, because writing is your product. All right. Second thing is get around a group of other writers. It is the group of other writers that have kept me writing and have taught me things that I need to know about writing, about how do you get a book published, or how do you get a book formatted? Are you writing well? I have a group that I meet with every Tuesday night, and we each critique each other's work. We have 4 or 5 of us that come in with our 1,500 words we've written, and we critique each other on it. Okay, hang around other people who are doing what you're doing, and it'll be unbelievably helpful. I could not have the success where I am if it weren't for the team of writers with whom I am working. So, in fact, I have a group in London, England that I meet with once a month, and we talk about words. We talk about things that are going on in the book market. We talk about the industry and all kinds of good stuff. And then the book group I told you on Tuesdays, and then I have different social media groups that I interact with. So just surround yourself with people that are doing what you're doing and hopefully doing a better job than you are, so that you can learn. One heads up, writing the book is going to be the easiest part, because getting books out to your readers used to be simple. Well, wasn't simple. If you were accepted by a publisher, they would do all the work. Okay, they would take your book, they would spell check it, they would check the grammar, they would go and check the content, fix stuff in there, and then they would make a book out of it, and they would advertise it for you. Well, there used to probably be 24 houses that were doing that not that long ago, and now of the big ones, we're probably down to 3. All right. So if there's more books being written, Amazon gets over 1 million books per year published. Okay. The people who are publishing them are probably like most of us, where we are what we call self-publishing. Self-publishing is a lot of work. To me, which my passion, the writing is the easiest part. The biggest challenge is marketing your book. And again, goes back to find people that can help you and do that, and go with it and use others' expertise to your advantage.
That's a great bit of advice. No, that absolutely nails that question.
And one of the things that stood out to me in what you were talking, your discussion here, was that is just to start. Les Brown, one of my favorite speakers, he said, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that line is just always stuck in my head, to when you're uncertain or, hey, I don't know. A lot of us get in what we call, analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
where we start to figure out.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah. Just go and start. Another awesome thing is we've shared on this show before, is you don't have to be a world-class chef to bake a world-class cake. You just have to follow a world-class recipe. So surround yourselves by experts. Success leaves clues. Do what they're doing. And it's a way to shortcut the pitfalls and the challenges that they faced over 30 years of becoming that expert. You can do in a much shorter time if you emulate and do what they do.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, Jerry, can you tell us, we see the website, in any other way that, people can get a hold of you, can get a hold of your books?
Okay, so obviously the website up there, www.jrstravejr.com. Also, my email's info@jrstravejr.com, and I can be reached that way. And I guess at this point, I want to tell you a little bit about this book.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. This is my first I wrote, and this is kind of interesting. For those of you who want to be writers one day, this could happen to you. I had written 5 fiction books, and then I was at a Marine Corps reunion. It was our 40th officers basic school reunion. So we were so last century. Anyway, we had a reunion, and I ran into this fellow former Marine of my friend, Ted Blickwettle. And Ted had served in the Marine Corps and then gone into serving with the Vet Center, counseling PTSD veterans and their families. And at one point, the organization decided to compromise the mental health care of the veterans by making the counselors see more veterans and spend less time with them, which is a horrible, horrible thing. Those of you familiar with PTSD realize that those suffering from PTSD, they don't get their problems solved with a 50-minute interview every other week or whatever. So the counselors were felt very compromised. They were not able to help their clients, and they started losing clients. They started losing clients because they just didn't trust the counselors anymore, because they weren't getting the care they needed. They started losing counselors who were just falling apart, becoming ill again. And there was some suicide ideology in there, but not just the veteran clients, but it was the counselors too. The counselors started suffering great tragic loss, mentally, physically, physiologically, because they were letting down their charges. They weren't able to look after their men and women who needed them. One thing about PTSD, it doesn't affect just the person who has PTSD, but it affects their families. PTSD families, it's like, closest thing I can tell you about is, say, with Alcoholics Anonymous, when you've got the programs to help the families who live with alcoholics. Well, they've got the same kind of thing they need for PTSD, and that all fell apart. So anyway, Ted Blickwettle said, wait a minute, this has got to stop. He said, and he went out, did studies, and went back to the VA. It was an independent group, went back to the VA, said, we got to fix this, we can't do this. And the VA basically says, we're going to do what you want to do, live with it. And the tragedies kept happening. And what I'm saying about tragedies kept happening, the worst happened time after time after time. We started losing them. And so basically, after that, Ted started a whistleblower project, and he started getting gas-lamped and mobbed and ridiculed, and to the point where he had to leave his job. And not long after that, he was hospitalized for a embolism and almost died, and suffered great health and financial problems. Long story short, Ted persisted, and there is now legislation pending in the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives to combat this problem within the VA and hold the VA accountable because they refuse to change. And we are also have come up with ways in the book to help people deal with the situation when that care is compromised. So,
but don't give up too much now. You gotta leave us with a cliffhanger.
I got some drama in there. Remember, I write fiction.
Yeah, that came naturally. Well, Jerry, that sounds like an amazing book. Broken Promises. We really appreciate your time today, and I can't wait to get a hold of one of them and let you know what to think.
Available on Amazon, and the ebook's available now. We're waiting for the paperback to go through some things. Sometimes those things don't go as well as you think they would. You'd like them.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your wisdom today. You're going to be helping a lot of entrepreneurs get started and not overthinking analysis by paralysis. And I really appreciate your time today, Jerry.
Okay. It's a pleasure being here. Appreciate it very much. You guys got a great thing going here.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Jerry. Thank you.
And all right. Okay. Now that this is outside of the episode now, I really appreciate the insights on getting an idea started. We kind of stayed not only high level stuff, but also some more tangible tactics people can use to really get started.
Micah likes the nuts and bolts conversations because he's taking notes and applying it to
I do. No, I mean that's kind of how the show
I'm not
started.
Making fun. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that I'll ask questions that I want to know myself. This is genuine. I'm learning right alongside of the viewers. But a lot of good stuff in there, and I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Yeah, I'm going to, if I can get a copy of this whenever you finish it, I'll put it up on a YouTube channel.
Definitely. And so what we'll do is we'll post it when it gets published. We'll reach out to you and let you know that your episode's live. We do the recording. We have a video and audio version. So the audio goes out to the podcast channels. It goes probably to like 20 different podcast channels. And then we have a YouTube channel too, so we'll be able to share that with you as well.
I'm just getting started in doing something with podcasts and YouTube channels, so there may be some things coming up that we can help each other with.
Perfect.
Collaborate.
We'd love it.
Yeah, well, awesome. We appreciate it, Jerry, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Yeah, Andrea Miller is our next guest.
All right, watch out. You got to turn that microphone down a little bit.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of The Commission Mission. I hope you got a lot out of it. We need you guys to like, follow, subscribe, whatever that action is for the platform that you're watching it on, and please leave a review. That's a great way of giving us a compliment.
And if you're listening to this show and you're interested in working with a great team in either the financial industry or real estate, Micah and I have opportunities available for people to join our team. You can find us at livingthatcommissionlife.com and go to the Join Us tab.
Highland Finance, helping you prepare for life. The profit your business brings in should go to you, not accidents, injuries, and hurricanes. Do a policy review on your general liability and workers' comp today. Our proven track record helps our clients prepare for life. Call 850-359-5989. Highland Finance.